Hi everyone, welcome if you're new here, welcome back if you're returning. I am Nat, and as you can see here, I've made a mess. And this was me deconstructing a love spell jar that I had done about 6 months ago. And I am filming this after I made the mess because I forgot to film my intro before I made the mess. So if you want to hear about why my love spell didn't work, stay tuned and let's get into it. Hello everyone, you're seeing my hands today, but we are going to do something a little different. I have here a spell jar, and this was a love spell I did a few months ago, and needless to say, it has not been fruitful. So I'm going to talk today, I'm going to speak about today why sometimes spells don't work. And I'm going to disassemble this jar because I want to redo it. So I made a few mistakes when I was first doing this. And the number one thing I didn't do was write shit down. So I don't remember what all's in here, and we're going to discover together because I didn't write it down. So there are a couple reasons why something might not work. And one of the main reasons is it needs more time. So one of the options here I could have done is charged it under a waxing moon for manifestation and given it more time. And that was certainly an option, but then we wouldn't have been able to film this. So, and also I had this feeling it's not quite right. So I'm going to disassemble it and redo it. I'm going to disassemble it today, but I'm not going to redo it today. But we're going to talk about what's in here and some of the aspects I'm going to reuse and some that I am not. First, I'm going to get all the wax off. I am going to reuse everything in here. Not everything in here, but I'm going to reuse some of this stuff in here. And some of it I'm going to put in my cauldron and light on fire. So one of the things I did put in here were rose petals. These are from my own garden. I believe that was a lotus petal. And I'd love to tell you why I included those things, but like I said, I didn't write it down. I have no idea what this is. It apparently sounded good at the time. These are chestnuts. So chestnuts, I have a Chinese chestnut tree in my yard, and chestnuts are, I'll put up a photo when I say this, editing Natalie will. But chestnuts come in these spiky pods, and they come paired like this. So this came out of one single pod, which is why I use this and why I included it in a love spell, right? I am one half looking for my other half. And these I'm going to reuse. Although it is becoming chestnut season and I could just get new ones. Another thing I included was pink salt. And I also had this cord on to bind my intention. So that is going in the cauldron. All right, so again, I think these were rose hips. That's why I used them. I also used some labradorite chips, some pyrite chips for luck, and some amethyst chips. I'm gonna pull as many of these out as I can. I also used lavender because lavender just goes with everything. So pink salt, lavender, rose petals, rose hips, and for some odd reason, a lotus flower, and my chestnuts. That is what comprised this spell. And I believe what is on here I did a bind rune and I had written some attributes that I had wanted in a potential partner, and I am going to burn this. Now, okay, I'm gonna save these in a separate little jar. So one of the other reasons that a spell may have not worked is I didn't bring enough intention to it. And I think that also is one of my problems, because having a partner is a nice to have, not really a need to have for me. I am quite content in my life and I have a decent job. I have all of you. I have my hobbies, I have my interests, and I simply don't need a partner in this. In my case, I am looking for a male partner for like right now. I simply just don't need a man in my life. I would like to have one. So and the salt and the wax I'm actually going to throw away. Normally used spell stuff I dump into a planter I have outside, but I don't want to put the salt in there. So, and you can tell I have I think I may have put a strand of my own hair in here as well. So I'm going to reuse the stones and the chestnuts and this jar. I might just throw this in the dishwasher. Or I might just cleanse it energetically and use it as is. So another thing is maybe my intentions that I burned were too specific, or I didn't give it enough time, or one of my ingredients was wrong. There are many reasons why it could have failed. I think the main one was I just didn't give it enough time, and I felt like it wasn't right. And I didn't record it. That was one of the things I wish I had done, because then I could redo it and see it. So take it from me, writing things down. Everybody says that. Everybody says write things down. Did I do that? No, I didn't. So that is today's video on why spells fail. That was me dismantling my love spell and trying to figure out, deconstruct it and try and figure out why it didn't work. But like I said, I think it's several reasons. Ingredients, time, and intention. Like I said, this is, to be punny, not something I'm married to, right? This is something I'm welcoming into my life as an additive, not something that I desperately want to manifest for myself, like Kyle. So we'll see. I will film, I actually have some pictures I'm going to throw up because I did document this. So how I constructed this was I set up all the ingredients on this tray in a crystal grid, and I used clear quartz, amethyst, and rose quartz. And I have several rose quartz pieces, large ones. I have a couple of these hearts and a small tower and some raw pieces that it was around. And some clear quartz points, and things like that. And I let it charge for about a week on this crystal grid. And then I put it together. I sealed it with a candle, and on the candle I had written different runes, which I couldn't tell you right now what they were, and I sealed it with the candle and let the candle burn all the way down. One thing I did not do is I did not charge the jar, and I thought about it, but I knew I wanted to kind of do a do-over basically. So here we are, and that is that. So if you found this interesting, please like and subscribe. If you had spells that didn't work, tell me about them in the comments. I love to hear from you. And if you have any ideas of what I should include in this one, let me know. I'd love to hear your ideas as well. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for stopping by. This is a little bit of witchy shit in with the tarot card stuff, and I hope you enjoyed it. Come back soon. Bye, everybody. This was a hot mess. There's a reason I don't film when I come home from work. So, hi everyone, it's Nat. Welcome or welcome back. Nope. Hi everyone, it's Nat, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back, or how many times do I have to film this stupid intro?